This is Milani, Chapter 15, Section 5, Problem number 2. We are trying to find the area between f of x and g of x. Now, in this problem, I do not have the x value, which no big deal, we are going to find it. But don't forget, we have to go by the 5 steps. Step number 1, set f of x equal g of x. Solve for x. F of x, g of x, set it equal each other. In order for you to solve for x, move anything you have in the second side, move it to the first side. Now here, I had the x positive, it goes to the other side, it's become minus x. I had the minus 6, it goes to the other side, it's become positive 6. Combined with minus 18, it's become minus 12. Then, this is my polynomial. Now, that was the step number 1. Then factor. Two numbers, when you multiply it by each other, it's become minus 12. But when you combine, this become minus 1, is going to be minus 4, and positive 3. That's going to be my factor part. Now, solve for x. X minus 4 is equal 0, and x plus 3 is equal 0. Then we find x value. When we find the x value, now, step number 2, subtraction of the antiderivatives. Now, I know my x value is going to be between minus 3 and 4. I graph it again. You don't have to graph it, but I did it because I'm trying to show you something. Now, before I show you this step, as a matter of fact, let me show you something else. Between minus 3 to 4, pick any number you want it. Between minus 3 to 4, I'm going to choose 0. Now, if I replace the 0 in f of x, my y is going to be minus 18. If I replace the x by 0 in the g of x, then my y is going to be minus 6. Between minus 6 and minus 18, minus 18 is a lower number. That means my higher equation is g of x. That's the reason right here. I'm going to indicate it, g of x minus f of x. My g of x is x minus 6, then minus my f of x. Make sure f of x has to be inside the parentheses because the sign will affect it. Then now from here, combine like a term. X minus 6, I can combine it with the 18. When I combine it, it's become 12. Then, anytime you have a minus in front of your equation, it does make it a little bit challenging, but at this moment, the first thing I do before I factor it, I have to find the antiderivative. Then, antiderivative of a minus x to exponent 2 is minus 3x to exponent 2. Antiderivative of a x is going to be x to the exponent 2 over 2. And antiderivative of any constant is going to be that number included x. That's my antiderivative. Then, replace the x by the higher x value, which the higher x value, remember, we find it, is going to be right here, which is 4. Replace the x by the 4. Get the answer, which replace all the x's by 4, and it would make it much easier if you plug it right here. Replace the x by 4, and then you are going to plug it and you are going to find the y value, which on the fraction part my answer is going to be this, and then my actual answer for the part 3 is going to be 34.67. Next step, replace the x by your lower x value. Lower x value is -3. Again, don't forget, if you have negative coordinate, make sure to keep it inside the parentheses. And then when I plug it on the calculator, my answer is going to be this. Now, I do have a higher x value. I do have a lower x value. Then subtract these two from each other and then combine the lucky term, which my answer from here is going to be 34.67 minus 22.5, and that is going to be 57.47. That's going to be my answer.